All right. What's going on, folks? Fight fans, the likes. Appreciate you being here. Of course, another edition of Boxing Chit. We're live here on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, you name it, the full gamut. We appreciate you being here. What's going on with your boss?
Nothing much really. This is a typical region summer we got here, and today right now it's a pretty good weather, but yeah, it's been very shifting, and yeah. So I didn't really watch much boxing last night, but I did catch those highlights and the stuff that we are gonna talk about. So yeah, I was satisfied to
Awesome.
be able to see that.
Awesome. Yeah, always a good deal of action on for sure. So yeah, I was able to catch some stuff, not everything, of course, but some of the good stuff, or at least the big name stuff. And speaking of that, certainly we can start kind of in that realm. I would say the heavyweight fight that turned out to have more implications than what was initially thought was one that took place over in the UK at O2 Arena. As a matter of fact, Joyce stepped in the ring with Derek War Chisora, the Juggernaut versus War Chisora, in what was
Oh,
expected to be a fight for Joyce to get himself back into title contention, But of course, as we
yeah.
know, things don't always go quite as planned. And before you dive into that, real quick, Boz, shout out to those in attendance, those that will be listening on the replay. We appreciate you all. Salute to you, Skywalker Boxing, who's
Salute.
dropped by, showing some love there. Appreciate you there, Skywalker. Salute there to you, Rodolfo Rivera Jr. in the building as well. Appreciate you dropping by there,
Salute.
Rodolfo. Be sure to go check out Skywalker Boxing's channel. Be sure to subscribe, all that good stuff. Same with Rodolfo. And of course, salute there to you, Bruce Gas, Boxing Jazz, and more, who dropped by as well. Appreciate you dropping by there, Bruce. Folks, be sure to check out Bruce Gas as well. Rodolfo mentions he missed all of the fights. So, yeah, I know you were at soccer game there, Rodolfo. So, hey, you got some good action regardless of such. So, good stuff
Wow.
indeed. But, yeah, appreciate you all dropping by. But as we were stating, Joyce took on Derek Chisora. We know the outcome at this point there, Boz. The man that wasn't expected to win, but somehow keeps getting these big fights and winning them was War Chisora, who came out on top. I wanted to get your thoughts on how things went.
Wow, yeah, that was a big surprise. I mean, I was certain that Joyce would win and probably even stop him down the stretch, when he tired. But wow, Chisora really fought a good fight, and he repeatedly caught Joyce coming in. Even though, yeah, he also absorbed quite a lot of punches, but Joyce's punches just didn't have much effect. It seems. I mean, the way he hits, he's too kind of sloppy, and he looks sloppy and slow. Even though he was in the fight, but he got dropped just as he was. He had assumed control. That's how it looked anyway.
Yeah.
And then suddenly he just gets caught, and it wasn't a very hard punch, but he just got caught at the right time, and yeah, so he lost balance, and because he did get up quickly, and we know Chisora isn't such a heavy puncher, really hard.
Mm-hmm.
He's just pretty average, but yeah, he hit him at the right time in the right place, and that secured the victory for Chisora. I don't know, but I don't know even if without that, if Joyce would have gotten the decision. I didn't see the scores really, but. Yeah, I just think that it was more due down to Joyce not really being his best version anymore than Chisora being so good. But yeah, Chisora definitely deserves credit for staying, focused and staying in shape enough. And yeah, he produced a pretty impressive performance all in all, considering his age and how many fights he has had and some really hard fights. And Yeah, but of course, nobody wanted to see him win this fight, I believe. But yeah, that's what happens. Sometimes Joyce was, yeah, very disappointed, of course, after the fight. But I don't think he can really do much at
Yeah.
this point. He probably would do best to retire now. The same goes for Chisora, of course, also.
Hey,
He
Chisora's
cannot,
gonna keep going after this.
yeah, but he cannot hope to achieve much really where it matters anyway. I mean, maybe a fight against somebody like, Wardley or Hergovich or something like that. Maybe that would be,
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah,
kind
yeah,
of realistic. Maybe I don't.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, interesting for sure. Yeah, those seem like dangerous fights for him, but this one did as well. As he managed to work his way through it for some reason. But
yeah,
as some mentioned, yeah, slow motion fight there. Skywalker says Bruce Gas mentions, yeah, that was like a tough man contest, barroom brawl, very little boxing.
yeah.
Yeah, I was doing an interview at the same time, and
Sweet.
yeah, and I had it on the phone so I could see some little tidbits of what was happening. But yeah, certainly wasn't one that you're storming out the gates to see. And definitely,
Yeah,
I think the highlights, as far as watching it, would certainly suffice. Just watching the highlights, Bruce Gass says the combined age of Joyce Shore was only 4 years younger than Foreman Coney. Oh wow, that's interesting for
yeah,
sure. It is
yeah.
interesting.
Joyce started so late as a pro. I don't know really what he expected, but I think he thought he would just steamroll through everybody and just win a title within 3 4 years or something. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, no, it's a interesting spot there for Joyce. I think, yeah, I'm with you. I mean, he's certainly out of title contention. Certainly not a top 10 heavyweight at this point. It's crazy. He was there not too long ago. My how the tide has
yeah.
shifted in some sense, So that's pretty
I was
crazy to
gonna
think
say,
about. So retirement might be the best thing for him.
yeah, I was gonna say only like less than 2 years ago. Anyway, he was considered a top contender after knocking out Parker, and but now, oh man, has the situation changed,
Yeah.
drastically? Hmm.
Just imagine
Yeah,
us thinking that Chisora taking on Joyce, at that particular time is like, what are they doing? What are they trying to do to Derek Chisora?
yeah,
It's
really. I
crazy.
mean,
It's
I think
crazy.
probably 2 years ago, or maybe even a year ago, Joyce would have maybe even stopped Chisora, who knows? But now, after the knockout versus Zhang,
Yeah.
yeah, he seems like a ruined fighter, simply.
Yeah, that took the fight out of the juggernaut right there. So yeah, certainly he's no longer the juggernaut Joyce that we or that he had come to earn the nickname for. And yeah, probably better suited headed towards that exit more than anything. And as mentioned with Chisora, yeah, this is gonna make him want some other opportunities, especially getting this win, and we'll see what he does from here. But certainly not in title contention either, despite having gotten a title shot not too long ago by virtue of Tyson Fury giving him a title shot. So that's pretty crazy how boxing is at times. We have a log jam up top, but Chisora has managed to get a world title shot here. You could say fairly recently, which is interesting.
Yeah, that's that's kind of unfair, but that's how it goes when he lives where he lives and has the manager and promoter, the right promoter, and yeah.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. So that certainly helps you out with things. But yeah, big picture, yeah, doesn't do much as far as the heavyweight scene is concerned. Doesn't shake up much of, if anything at all,
Yeah,
because certainly there's no expectation that either of these guys will be anywhere near the title picture. And hey, it's a fight. So we'll see what happens next for each of them. Only time will tell, but I'm sure there will be some nice little purses dangled in front of them, and of course, choices will be made based on such. But we'll see how things continue to flow. Anyway, so that card went down over at the O2 Arena, as mentioned, there in London, and there were a few other fights on the card. Their buys worth mentioning. McCann picked up a decision. Gardner picked up a decision, but a heavyweight fight that was of interest, that maybe was the shining heavyweight fight, was Moises Atoma defeating Marius Wack, and it was via second round destruction, essentially, because Wack seemed to be completely overwhelmed in there with the young gun. And I must say, I really like what I saw from Moises Atoma in what was expected to be a real step up fight for him. But man, maybe they had to step it up even more, because he handled Watt with flying colors, I would say. What are your thoughts on the potential here of Moises Atoma, who's only, I guess, like 19 or 20 or something like that?
Yeah, I like his potential, definitely. I mean, he's not only hits hard, he has fast hands and throws a lot of punches like he did last night, and he definitely has a potential, but it's still too early to say just how much potential. I mean, Waho didn't look in good shape at all, but and his age and all that. But he's still impressive that he beat him like he did, Itoma. And so far I like what I have seen from him, definitely, and he's got potential, as I said, definitely. Yep.
Oh yeah, certainly. Yeah, Watt came in, I believe, at 281 pounds to 239 for Atoma, and Atoma is 19 years of age. There, folks, 19 years of age. We're talking about it on the Fight Night Score stream from earlier. Watt fought Frazier Clark and took him the distance not too long ago. So that goes to show that Atoma came in there with a different type of intent, and he got him out of there pretty quick, as mentioned. So that makes it interesting. And actually, Jim, he had brought up, hey, what about the potential of Moises Atoma versus Big Frazier Clark right there? That'll be an interesting contest.
Yeah, I mean, the British heavyweight scene is really pretty stacked right now, and some really exciting potential matchups to be made. Yeah, definitely.
Oh yeah, and Skywalker mentioned Moises got goals of being the youngest champ. Hey, at this rate, if you get the title, that's a tough one to meet right there. But hey, that's interesting.
Yeah, there aren't many heavyweights right now with both speed and power. I mean, yeah, definitely there aren't many.
Mike Tyson, we know, is the youngest at 20 years of age and some change. I can't remember the exact amount of change surrounding it, but Atoma is 19 right now. So that would mean he has a little bit of time left on his side, but you had to skyrocket there to the top of the rankings. And I guess the way that would happen is, it depends on who he's matched up with in this next couple of fights, especially if you're thinking about getting a title shot. So interesting for sure.
Man, I don't know if he will be the youngest champion, but he can maybe equal Tyson's record, maybe.
Maybe potentially get a title by 20. Yeah, somewhere.
And then he will have to fight the winner of AJ versus Dubois, I guess.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
So that's therein where the issue lies. Getting to that point, is the issue, because of course there's some other names you have to go through there, and some tough challenges too at that. So the belts might have to be split up for that to happen.
Yeah, Usyk, that's another story, with him. I don't know how easy or hard it would be to set up a fight against him.
Yeah,
I think he is probably more interested in bigger names right now.
Oh yeah, certainly, and that could end up being the winner of Anthony Joshua versus Daniel Dubois, which we know is on tap to go down at Wembley Stadium. And thinking about it like a couple of years ago, as a matter of fact, there's like, I don't know if we'll see that one, but now that it's here, very interesting fight for sure.
Yeah, yeah. As he said, yeah, I think Moses is right now about 6'2.5" or something. I think I
Yeah.
read six, something like that. So he is not, definitely not short really for a heavyweight, but yeah, not tall either. But he doesn't have to be with his power and speed, as I said. Yeah,
Oh yeah, yeah. That is the way he rattles off those combinations. That certainly helps things for sure. So yeah,
yeah.
we'll see what he's able to do in here. Salute to Max Duran who's dropped by. Appreciate you dropping by, Max. It's good seeing you as always there for sure. Others send their regards and shout out to Dion Chubbs dropped by as well. Says Big Baby could be in trouble if he isn't focused. Salute to you there, Dion, holding it down. Balls and Buds podcast right there. Be sure to check that out. Hit up a man Dion there. So give him a subscribe. But yeah, that's another one. Yeah, we're certainly gonna get to right there in terms of what's coming up. That's gonna be a good one. A couple of big babies are fighting this weekend. As a matter of fact, the two big babies in the heavyweight division. So it's interesting. Skywalker says women boxing this weekend was fire, right hook, Stacey Suttles, Claressa Shields. Yeah, certainly. Yeah. As a matter of fact, yeah, we're gonna touch on that. We are talking about it a little bit here beforehand. Their buys, but yeah, Claressa Shields, she actually had a performance in Detroit that kind of stamped her name in the record books as far as moving up in weight to take on then world heavyweight champion Joyce. I know their last name is Joyce. And Claressa Shields moving up was actually the bigger fighter. And I think it showed in that contest. Bigger, certainly the better fighter. And she put on a display and handled things with pretty quick and dramatic fashion there, Boz. I know you caught some pieces of that. Claressa Shields getting an actually dropping Joyce 3 times en route to that victory.
Yeah, that was just wow. I didn't expect that, but I guess sometimes when people move up in weight, also their power can increase as well.
Yeah.
So I think this is what happened. It was just a very impressive destruction, even though Lepage, Jonis, she wasn't really some kind of name, but still, I mean, she is a heavyweight, I guess, and that was very impressive. For somebody who never was considered a puncher before, to end a fight like that.
Yeah, there was a crazy sequence there, Rodolfo, that you mentioned that Claressa pulled off. So yeah, Joyce, she was 7-1. She was the world heavyweight champion, had a WBC title. I believe they're the only ones who actually have a sanctioned title there in the heavyweight division on the women's side. And apparently there was a light heavyweight belt on the line as well, though this might have been a first as well, because both of them weighed in at 174 pounds, with Claressa being 174.8, Joyce being 174.6. So Claressa was a little bit bigger. Claressa was taller, of course, being around 5'9" to Joyce's 5'6". And Claressa, that experience, that skill set, that level showed right there. And she got in and did what she had to do. I actually thought that Claressa would stop her because I felt Joyce was going up against a type of fighter that she had never been in the ring with, probably not even sparred with or anything remotely close to such. So Claressa went in there and did what she had to do, but she did it in impressive fashion. And you know what? I like the way she puts on for Detroit for sure as well, because she had a lot of different groups there. She was recognizing some of the fighters or they recognized a number of the fighters who fought out of Detroit, promoters as well. Thomas the Hitman Hearns was there. You had some prominent female promoters out of Detroit who have helped to grow the sport there over the years, and I thought that was a good job of recognizing them along with some of the other fighters from the area. So props to Claressa in that regard. She really puts on when she performs there, and then people turn up and show out for her. So kudos in that regard. And she's now world heavyweight champion, but she said that realistically, she's ready to operate from heavyweight down to 154 pounds, which is where she was undisputed at once. So that's pretty interesting, right there. Scaling it like the old school boxers did, operating at those weights that are pretty dramatic there.
When I see this fight was for both the heavyweight and the light heavyweight title.
Yeah.
So that's pretty special, but that's women's boxing.
Yeah. And I believe BoxRec, they did, if I recall correctly, I didn't see a light heavyweight division where they actually have tracked rankings. I think previously, once you've gone up to that weight, that's pretty much been heavyweight. So it's an interesting dynamic in that regard in terms of how they operate. But yeah, she did become the world light heavyweight champion for the WBC as well. So with that, so it's essentially like 2 belts picked up on this night. So as far as hardware is concerned, man, Claressa continues to rack it up nonstop. And of course, she mentioned some of the divisions she's been in. So it'll be the particular or similar names that you will have heard before, like the potential of Savannah Marshall, Franchon Cruz Dezern, maybe Shadeja Green at some point can work her way back up to where she could be an opponent for Claressa Shields. But Claressa's still ready to go full steam ahead. And we'll see how things tend to turn out for her. Now, what would be super amazing that isn't necessarily doable, we know that we have such a brevity of competition there around 135, 140. You know what I'm saying? But unfortunately, those are weights too low. But it would be amazing if somehow, Claressa could get matched with some of those. But we won't see the like Katie Taylors, Amanda Serranos, who are regarded as the other top tier fighters on the women's side of the sport, So that's the kind of unfortunate sequence.
Yeah, well.
Rodolfo mentions, I thought it was only super middleweight, and then it goes to heavyweight in terms of women's boxing. Yeah, that's the case there, Rodolfo. But the WBC, they, I guess, added this 175-pound title as well to make it light heavyweight. This might have been the first for them, as a matter of fact. So, but yeah, interesting stuff right there. Claressa, as mentioned, did what she had to do. So, shout out to Claressa Shields. Hey, constantly making history. Hey, and she has a movie coming out as well. It's called The Fire Inside, I believe, or something like that. I saw that it's supposed to come out in December, and I didn't see a trailer. I don't know if a trailer's out yet. But yeah, that's pretty interesting. I guess it's going to chronicle her journey through the Olympics there, winning back-to-back gold medals. And the actor who's playing her was there in attendance as well. So that's pretty cool, having a movie about you. Yep, Rodolfo says WBC always making money moves. Yeah, certainly. You know how they do. Mauricio Suleiman, he's about that moolah.
Yeah, he's been in charge for very long, very, very long.
They can figure out a way to get a belt to you for sure.
Yeah.
But good stuff right there. But that went down in Detroit, Michigan. Now the undercard had some decent fights there. You had Ergashev, I forget his first name, Uzbek fighter, taking on Julius Smith, I believe it is, who was a fighter who, pulled off the upset. Wasn't expected to get the victory there. Yeah, Julian Smith, who came in, I believe, 8-2, took on Ergashev.
Because Tim had told me it was Julian Jackson. I was like, no way, he can't be called the same as the old legend. Yeah. He said that guy is deaf, actually. Deaf.
I heard them mentioning that. That's pretty crazy, pretty amazing right there.
Well, Yeah, and what an upset also. Pretty, yeah.
Yeah. It was a nice
That's
one. He dropped Ergashev twice. One wasn't counted a knockdown, but it should have been counted a knockdown. And Ergashev was legit hurt right there when he got caught too. Sharp, quick
mm,
punches there coming from Smith. And yeah, as mentioned, Bob's mentioned he's deaf, but hey, he's able to do his thing. Didn't hold him back or slow him down. He was on game.
yeah. His record. I mean, when I looked at his record, it didn't look like somebody that could really, like pose a problem for Ergasha. But
Right.
yeah, I was
Any
wrong.
given night.
Yeah.
As they say, uh, he was likely in as the opponent, and he upset the apple cart for sure. And I like
Mm,
the way he went about it. He seemed undeterred the entire time. So Ergashev didn't intimidate him or anything. And
yeah.
really, realistically, looking at it in terms of who looked more hurt in the contest, certainly it was Ergashev. So I think the right guy won, and it was a split decision,
Yeah.
but could have been unanimous
He
essentially.
was dropped. I mean, Ergasha was down.
Yeah.
Once I see here, yeah.
Yep, and then as mentioned, one of them came right at the bell, and the referee didn't count it as a knockdown, though it should have been. So, realistically, it should have been dropped twice there, and it would have certainly been a unanimous decision victory had that been counted. But Urgashev was
Mm,
legit hurt. So, shout out to
yeah.
Smith. I think that he's a guy. Hey, we'll see him again here somewhere. I'm imagine. Good performance of him.
Yeah.
Mikael Ali
This
Junior
should be
Rivera, he fought,
oh,
Miguel Rivera. He wants to be like Muhammad Ali,
all right.
look and feel, but he
Yeah.
fought Rodon, this
The
other fighter
Dominican.
who was Rodon undefeated. He was close to it, if not undefeated. Let me see here. Rodon, no, he had two losses there. So Rivera came in, of course, at 140 pounds. I believe this was his first fight at 140. So Hugo
Yeah.
Rodon. Ragun started out pretty hot, but from there, the fight, kind of simmered down a good bit. But Rivera was able to drop him in the final round. I think it was 10 rounder. He caught him coming in with a quick little right, little pull counter, just right that just landed right there on the jaw, sent Rodon down. I think that did it for him as far as picking up the victory because I believe it was a split decision for Rivera in that win. So he's back in the win column. He's operating at 140 pounds. Or was mentioned in the Fight Night Score stream. His only loss is to Frank Martin, who we know was in with Tank Davis here recently. But that was
Yeah.
at 135. So Rivera, solid boxer, can move
Yeah.
well. He's Dominican. He's got a
His last
good
fight.
pedigree behind him. Yeah.
Last fight at 135. That's why he lost, probably. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's got a good pedigree behind him, and he is now operating at 140. So we'll see. There's some guys out
Mhm.
there at 140 who I imagine want to smoke. Arnold Barboza is always looking for some competition. That's a potential opponent, So 140, you could say, is wide open right now.
Right. Yeah, it is.
Yep. And let's see here, Rodolfo Rivera Jr. I remember seeing the boxer Rodolfo a while back. Yeah. Pretty amazing thing. Skywalker says that judge on the Rivera card was trying to rob him. Oh yeah, that's crazy. That is crazy. Rivera popped dirty on that ghost fight, right? Yep, that is the case. He said his or at least the broadcast was saying that someone from his camp gave him a supplement without his knowledge, something of that tune. So he has a new team, as I understand it, a new team behind him. So I guess he got rid of the old crew. So this was the first fight there under the new team or whatnot. So in the win column, hey, seemingly only up from here, right? So big fights, I'd imagine, is what he's seeking. So maybe that opportunity presents itself. Excuse me. All right. That was also mentioned on the Claressa Shields card. Ernesto Mercado picked up a TKO victory. Well, I'm looking here at some other fights that took place. Apparently, Miguel Berchelt fought in Mexico and
Really?
beat someone. Looks like an Ecuadorian fighter via third round KO. The old Miguel Burchell. I remember when he was the guy there for a little bit.
Yeah, he was one of my favorite fighters at 130. Back then, definitely one of the best. Yeah, now
Oh yeah,
he's, I guess, back to fighting at Latin American level, which isn't a bad level at all, but still, yeah,
yeah.
it's not what he
Certain for
used to
him to
be.
get some victories.
Yeah. Mm.
Yep. So no, so
Sure.
Miguel Burchell, I see this cat Trinidad, who I'm not sure if I had seen him before. He got a 10th round stoppage victory. Otto Valeen was back in the win column. He
Right.
fought this past Thursday against the Nigerian heavyweight. First round KO.
45. Yeah,
This
45
past Friday,
seconds.
actually.
45. I mean, I never knew he had that kind of power. I mean, I guess that guy wasn't that good, but still, he never looked like somebody who could do something like that.
Yeah.
To any, pretty much, 45 seconds. Wow, man.
Yeah,
That's
pretty crazy. I still need to check that out because they see a subtle spot on that card. It's a boxing insider card. Shout out to Stasia Suttles. Yeah, that's what I meant. And she did her thing, got a victory in her debut. But yeah, Otto Valeen back in the win column, and we'll see how it goes. As far as Otto Valeen, if he's able to work his way back up into one of these big fights, I'm sure he has a name that someone can be matched up with him. It's just a matter of who at this particular point, and maybe maybe that's like the next step for the winner of Bacoli and Jared Anderson. Essentially, we'll see though.
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
We'll see for sure. Skywalker said, "Hey Josh, we need buys on some interviews in the future. Let her have him on the Tim and Tim show." Yeah, I think it's a timing thing as far as him being in Norway and when we actually have the interviews. So the timing doesn't quite work out there, Skywalker, because it's like the wee hours of the morning, I believe, for him. Right? Something like that.
Yeah, usually it is, yeah.
Yeah, cool. But yeah, maybe something happens here at some point there, Skywalker. We do something earlier or something like that, and we can work it out in some capacity.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah, well, I'm sure we can work some things. So yeah, we'll discuss for sure. Hey, I saw also Hooney got a victory, second round TKO over Pilcher. I know we were talking about that last week in terms of what could potentially happen.
Yeah. Who did you say?
Honey or Hooney?
Oh, yeah.
The Australian?
Yeah, Justice Honey, I don't know.
Yeah.
You call it.
So he picked up the second round stoppage.
That's no surprise because that guy was a total unknown picture, 9-0-1, like, oh yeah, not much of a record,
Yeah,
even though Huni himself was 9-0. So, but anyway, he did fight a couple of names before this.
Yeah,
so, yeah.
That is true. So so I haven't seen it. I might try to catch the replay since it's a fairly short fight or whatnot. So that should be an interesting one.
Justice Huni, yeah, he's a pretty good fighter. I mean, I thought when he fought Kevin Lorena earlier this year, I thought that Lorena should have probably got that decision, but it was still a very close fight.
Yeah, I would need to see it again. Yeah, it was an interesting little fight for sure. I was watching it, but yeah, I would need to see it again to kind of see how things shaped up in that contest. But Lorena, solid W to have, especially 9 fights in.
I mean, he did look more spectacular in the fight. He fought disciplined and all that, like a well-schooled fighter, but he did nothing really eye-catching. It was more Lorena who did that,
Oh yeah. So yeah, interesting. Yeah, and Lorena, he's solid there. Heavyweight, South African, right?
Just that just that he's a small heavyweight. And he sometimes it seems like he fights in spurts or something. I don't know. Like he doesn't,
Yeah.
engage enough always. I don't.
Oh yeah, yeah, certainly. Skywalker says thoughts on Pac-Man. Yeah, I only recently realized that he actually had an exhibition fight. Apparently, I only recently realized within the
Hmm.
last several minutes that he actually
Right.
had an exhibition. But apparently, he had an exhibition, I guess, in Japan. Supposedly a tough fight. Um, Here, this Rodolfo said he heard. Skywalker said, yeah, with the kickboxers a draw, but a lot of criticism about Manny making a return to fight top welterweights. Is that what he's trying to do? He's 45 now, right? 40,
I hope
45.
not. Yeah, he's 45, 46 in October or November. I don't know.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
probably wouldn't be ideal here, even though the welterweight division isn't as stacked as it was. But I can only imagine him. Just imagine him being in there with someone like Boots at this age, who's bigger,
Yeah.
stronger.
He'd get he'd get murdered pretty much,
Right.
probably.
And he's been out of the ring technically here for a good period at this point. So, yeah,
Yeah.
Pac-Man should stick to the exhibitions and maybe continue to work that exhibition with Floyd Mayweather. That seems to be something that is more geared towards both of them. If Floyd Mayweather
Yeah.
will do an exhibition with that John Gotti the third guy, then why not Pacquiao? Surely
Yeah.
they can make more with him and Pacquiao doing an exhibition rematch, something.
Yeah, really, Mayweather was kind of laughed at when he had this kind of exhibition or something. He didn't look so good, apparently, in that.
Oh yeah. Interesting. Yeah, certainly interesting stuff right there. For sure. But yeah. He
Mm,
wants to return to fight Barrios. Yeah, I like Barrios in that contest. Younger, fresher. So yeah, Pacquiao, man, you can't hang it up. You can't hang them up. It's interesting. Yeah, even legends get father time. Yeah, he's certainly at that point, and he's turning 46 this year, as Boz mentioned. So he's closer
yeah,
to 46 than
45.
what may meet the eye there. So yeah, it's
Mm,
probably not wise to him to try and make any type of legitimate comeback.
yeah,
But we'll
he
see. You
should
know how it
just,
is.
keep it real, keep it realistic and
Yeah, yeah. Rodolfo says
just
Pac-Man is crazy enough to fight Varios. Yeah, he is. He
find
was trying
some
to make the
nobody.
Olympics. You know that, boss?
What?
Pacquiao was trying to make the Olympics, but he aged out. Did you know that?
Oh, no. When
Crazy.
was that? No.
We're here recently for this one, but because he was
Oh, no.
45, they said he was too old to compete in it. So
What the hell was
to
in
compete in
his
that
mind?
sport, or at least boxing or whatever. So, but he was trying to make it for the Filipino team.
Incredible. He's probably somebody should check his head. Really, he's delusional, obviously.
Max Run said, "Yeah, I hope Pacquiao retires." To be honest, yeah, yeah, hey, yeah,
Yeah, he
certainly,
definitely should.
certainly wouldn't
Yeah,
be expecting at this stage any legitimate fights, but we'll see. But I
he,
did see his name pop up there as far as the that well, I thought it was maybe it wasn't an exhibition. Then yeah, I see, yeah, draw 3 here, but I thought it was an exhibition.
I mean, he's had like 70 fights or something, 68. I don't know, something like that. Come on,
Yeah,
isn't that enough, man? Like, how much more beating can you take?
yeah, right, right. Certainly not good at this stage in life
Yeah.
for him. Dan, welcome, Dan. Dan in the mix here. Appreciate you dropping by there, Dan. Yeah, we're
Hey,
talking a
Dan.
little boxing action here from the past weekend or such. Did you catch that? Because I think this was on that Jake Paul. This was that Jake Paul card where the guy Ashton Silva got knocked out.
Oh, yeah. I saw only that knockout. I didn't see the
Bahati
fight.
against Bahati or something like that. Yeah, that was crazy, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Still was the favorite, that I understand. And
Yeah,
that was quite a knockout. Yeah. I mean,
he
that's
was
all I
he,
can say.
he was winning the entire fight up to that point.
Yeah.
It's just like,
One of those, yeah,
yeah.
fights.
So yeah, we were talking about can he recover from that? Yeah, maybe he can, but yeah, that's one you have to certainly get yourself back in that kind of mode for coming back from one like that. Sends you out cold down there, face
Like,
first.
yeah, I remember just like that fight, when what's his name, John, the guy who trained, sorry, Jackson, who trained Sergey Kovalev.
John
What was
David
it?
Jackson.
Yeah, when he lost to Jorge Castro, that fight.
Oh, okay.
He was beating him up, like easily winning, and then in the ninth round, Castro suddenly catches him one big left hook, and that's it. Like he gets
Lights out.
dropped. Yeah, that's all. Like,
Yeah, that can be a tough one to come from right there. Speaking of Miguel Burchelt, yeah, he didn't quite come back from his, even though he's fighting like you said there at the
yeah,
Latin level now. But after that loss, that knockout to at the hands of
Valdez.
Valdez, yeah, he wasn't the
Yeah,
same guy.
yeah, he was totally ruined. Obviously, I mean, no, well, he was ruined definitely as a
Yeah,
prime. I mean,
yeah, that's crazy. Have you? Mac Duran says, "Have you guys heard of Rummy's Corner? He correctly predicted that Chisora would beat Joyce. Awesome. Yeah, I know of Rummy's Corner. I've checked out some of his stuff. Yeah, and
I
he
don't
does a
know.
lot of stuff on the history as well. Salute to old Rummy out there. But no, that's pretty dope. Yeah, he's
Yeah,
probably one in the minority there.
yeah, I
But
think most people were like 95% at least were picking Joyce to win. Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Me,
Joyce.
myself included, of course.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I picked Joyce. I thought Joyce would get the stoppage too. So Rummy was
Yeah,
on it there. Got to give
he
it to him.
only, yeah, I mean, Joyce has just been getting away, just shows you like his chin has been made him like win some fights that he never should have won, like against
Yeah.
Dubois and Takam, even you might say to an
Oh
extent,
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh yeah. They stopped that, right? Though the referee stopped that, right?
yeah, yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Before he actually went down in the super
Yeah,
damage.
and even Parker, also that fight he wouldn't have won probably had he had weaker chin. So yeah,
Yeah, I actually picked Parker to win that contest, and he could
yeah.
have seemingly, but his punches weren't really damaging Joyce as much. But I
Mm.
thought he was doing his thing there for period. So
Oh, by the way, did you see Chisora? That thing with altercation he had with this courier, what's it called? You know, the guy on a bike who was gonna delivery man, on a
oh yeah,
bike.
no, I didn't
So
see
he
that.
was passing him and his children on the street, and Chisora started yelling at him to dismount, to get off the bike, and he wouldn't. And then, you know, this guy kind of went at Chisora, but he soon regretted it because Chisora just started, pouncing on him, and then the guy ran away. And yeah, what a crazy
No, I
scene.
didn't see that. The heck? No, that's interesting one. I had to look that
I
up. No, I
mean,
had seen it.
he was not a big man. What was he thinking, that guy? He was quite small, especially in comparison to Chisora. Chisora
Yeah.
starts yelling and shoving him around, and he just, gets too much and charges at Chisora. I mean, come on, you're crazy. You're playing with that, man.
No, I hadn't seen that. I got to look it up. Interesting, right
Yeah,
there. Freaking Chisora. Hey, Chisora. Yeah, he's a funny guy for sure. He's always
yeah,
interesting stuff. He's a fun guy. Yeah. So, I like he was talking, building up to the contest right there. He was really
yeah.
selling the fight for sure.
Now he wants to fight White again for the third
Oh
time.
yeah, I saw someone mention that. So Dillian, oh yeah, Bruce Gas mentioned that. So Dillian White, he wants that rematch because he got knocked out in that one. That's
Yeah,
interesting one, I guess you
in the
could say.
second one, yeah. But I thought he should have won the first fight. I remember, but he was very like not in a good. Nobody wanted him to win, so that's why I guess he didn't win.
Yeah,
I thought he won 115, 113 the first fight, but then yeah, he got knocked out in the 11th round. The second, and that was also a great fight. I mean, a real brawl. Yeah, that was when White was in his peak, like at his peak, definitely.
And White's looked more lackluster than Chisora here over his
Yeah.
last few fights. So hey, that's
Mm.
a winnable fight for sure.
Oh yeah.
Seemingly a winnable win. Dan says, "Hey Max, I've watched this countdown to the greatest decades. I didn't care for this. Take it all. Got you there." Max says, "Dan, one of the best channels out there, along with 86 Vox, and of course, I appreciate the loot and nod there, Max, for sure." Dan says, "I'll give it another try." Well, yeah, I haven't seen some of the latest stuff, but I had saw some countdowns and stuff that Rummy's done. So I know he has a lot of content that is out there. Some good stuff, I'd imagine there. Sure, in the mix there, you'll find Dan. So interesting for sure. Interesting.
Yeah.
Um, let's see here. So those were like the big fights that took place. There was a Shigeko, this Japanese fighter, that lost to Tadaran, a Filipino fighter, I think, in
Yeah,
a fight that
then
he.
I had picked him to win in that prediction league also. That I had a
Yeah,
terrible one, man. I
I
picked
think I
Joyce
did.
to win and Ergashev and that guy now,
Oh yeah,
Shingo, what's his name? They all
yeah,
lost. I think the only fight I predicted that I know I predicted correctly was sorry, I don't remember one of these fights that happened.
yeah.
See which one was it. Well, anyway, it doesn't matter. It was a terrible round for me. I do this. Have this.
Yeah, I had some
There's a
misses. I did pick
yeah,
Claressa Shields via stoppage. I felt she was gonna stop the girl quicker than what I predicted, but happy about that because I
right.
knew so I had a feeling she was gonna stop her. First stoppage in a minute, as mentioned, that's moving up in weight.
It
So
was just a lousy round, but that's the problem when you have so many fights between fighters that you really aren't sure about, and where they are and what their shape is and yeah, with what shape they are in, and also they are sometimes when they are fighting, one guy, but you don't know the other one, but he can be dangerous
oh
potentially.
yeah,
So that's the problem, in trying to predict the score, the result. I mean,
oh yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Certainly, certainly, yeah.
yeah,
You never know. Sometimes, yeah, crazy stuff happens for sure.
yeah.
So
Well, I mean, I can only say one thing. I gotta brag a little. I was the only guy in that league that this was way back, of course, when that who correctly picked Carl Froch to beat Arthur Abraham.
oh yeah,
Yeah,
awesome.
everybody else thought Arthur would win, but Froch really, really schooled him in that fight. Oh man.
I can see that. Yeah, I would have gone Frotch as well, but I liked Frotch. I know some people didn't like Frotch, just in general.
Yeah, well, as a fighter, you gotta kind of respect him, if not
Yeah,
admire. But
yeah,
as a person, yeah, he kind of can look maybe a little smug and too cocky, self-sure, whatever. Yeah, but he was
yeah.
a very capable fighter, definitely.
Oh yeah, very much so. Yeah, and put on some very good fights too in his career.
Yeah.
So accomplished a lot for sure.
Oh
Semi.
yeah.
He was the second person, at least second place in that World Boxing Super Series, or no, the Super Six World Boxing
Super
Super.
Six, yeah, I think yeah,
Yeah,
it was Super Six, yeah.
I have a
Yeah,
poster.
yeah, that was the first fight I believe when he beat Abraham or Abraham. That was the
Yep,
first yeah. Or no,
yep.
sorry, Andre Dirrell, he was the
Yeah,
first
Darrell was
fight.
the first one. Yeah, yeah, you're right.
Dirrell who just made a clown of himself in that fight.
Yeah,
Kept hugging and it was a
all over
dancing
the canvas in that one. I remember that
yeah,
sloppy, very
yeah,
sloppy
man.
effort there. So yeah, he did that, and yeah, ended up being there and losing to Andre Ward in the final. So got to give it to him
Yeah.
for sure. Frotch did his thing. Shout out to the Cobra, Carl Frotch. And I remember you could always hear his girlfriend at the fights yelling.
Oh yeah. She was like a model. She used to be a really hot model, but now she's of course a wife,
Mhm.
a
Oh
mother.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, wife, yeah, wife.
Rachel.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
you
know
could
her
always
name. I
hear.
remember her name. Yeah, Rachel Cordingly. Yeah, that's her name. Or
Oh yeah,
maiden name. Hmm.
cool. That's awesome stuff. Hey, looking ahead to next week, of course, on Wednesday we got a pretty solid matchup, main event, Castro versus Acosta. Mark Castro, promising looking fighter. This is on the zone. I think it's Golden Boy is who he's with right
This,
there. So
hmm.
um, that should be
Yeah,
a pretty solid one. And then, of course, we have a huge card this weekend. And that's Terrence Crawford moving up to 154 pounds to take on champion, or at least one of the belt holders, Israel the Dream Madrimov, in what should be a
hmm.
very solid contest right there. Want to get your
Yeah,
thoughts on that one, Crawford moving up from Madrimov, who some people might not know, but a pretty solid guy.
yeah. He's very solid and very awkward and pretty unusual. He's got unusual way of throwing punches, and
Mm-hmm.
he also connects and and I don't know really if he can beat Crawford, but I would say he's one of the best candidates right now.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just a little hard to say to know right now what will happen, of course. But Crawford fighting at a higher weight, if he can do great or just all right. Well, if he doesn't do great, then I don't think he will win. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, I do hope for a really, and I believe it will be a really good fight. And
Ye-
Crawford, I hope that the judges will be fair as well. If
Oh
Mario
yeah.
happens to outland, Crawford, it might well happen, but we'll see. I don't want to say anything. Yeah, but I think Madrimov has a realistic chance anyway of winning. Realistic chance, yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's for sure.
He's a real deal in terms of man.
Yeah,
He is not one to be slept on for sure. He's very skilled.
yeah,
Like you said, move well, throws punches from awkward angles at points as well.
yeah,
And I don't think the moment will be too big for him. He's kind of been on a trajectory that was going to lead him to getting his bigger fights earlier in his career from a fight total standpoint, just given the amateur background and all that stuff. So should be a good one. I'm with you there. Hopefully the judges don't ruin this if
yeah,
it comes to that point or whatever. I do favor Terrence Crawford, give him the slight edge via decision, but I think that Madrimov is going to make it a very good fight. I'm actually looking
yeah.
forward to it.
He will definitely. I mean, it's only the question if he can really land enough on Crawford and just stop him from being so damn tricky and imposing his style on him on Madrimov. Yeah, that's not going to be easy for Madrimov or anybody. But yeah, we'll
Yeah,
see. And yeah,
yeah, indeed. And Scott mentioned that Bud card looking good. Yeah, top to bottom, it's a heck of a card for sure. A lot of great fights on this card. You have here. I'm looking at Box.live. So what they are showing second up, of course, is Eddie Ruiz versus Jarrell Miller. Now I don't know if that's going to be the co-main,
oh yeah,
but that is happening there. Andrew Ruiz, who, as I was mentioning on a previous stream, is pretty much giving away, lost every bit of momentum he had when he became world champion, and then
yeah.
he was just like on top of the world there. Then looked lackluster, and since then it's been an inactive,
That was
very
yeah.
no, never know what you're gonna get type fighter.
That victory over Anthony Joshua was so amazing that it almost had to go downhill right after that. That was
Right.
unbelievable, like movie Rocky, like victory. Man, I don't think I've seen. I don't think we'll see another one like that in a long time.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
yeah,
certainly unexpected.
they say he did get in shape now, in better shape, and so did Miller as well. They say So both are ex-fat guys, I guess. I hope so.
Yeah. Now
So
Miller, he's gonna be coming in. I expect Miller to come in heavier for sure.
right,
I do
he
expect
is a
that.
bigger guy. Yeah.
So it'll be interesting and telling to see where Andrew Ruiz comes in at. I get what you're
I
saying. They always say, "Hey, he's getting in shape." Oh, he's really in shape for this one.
and then the sneakers start coming
Right.
in his mouth. I think I still favor Ruiz because of his speed and his also experience in big fights, and he also actually has power. And Miller is more like a workhorse, of course, who
Yeah.
just breaks you down and over a long time, over many rounds. So if anybody can or should win by a knockout here, it's Ruiz, of course. But I don't
Mhm.
know if he will be able to do that. But anyway, I favor him to win and we
Yeah.
this fight.
That's what I said. I thought Ruiz via decision, but yeah, it's going to be very interesting. Rodolfo has who was AJ's original opponent before Andy, and then Luis Ortiz. No, it was actually freaking Jarrell Miller. So
Oh
just so
yeah, yeah.
happens the two guys that AJ
I
was,
remember. I
yeah, the
remember
guy
that
AJ was going to fight beforehand. Yeah, he did.
that push that Miller did to AJ.
He pushed himself out of the fight basically.
Yeah,
And so
he
that's who it's
dug,
gonna be, Rodolfo. And hey, who
dug
knows?
himself out of the fight. Yeah.
Isn't that crazy? Just imagine had that fight went on and it ended up being Jarrell Miller upsetting Joshua. Just crazy,
Who
just
knows?
thinking about it.
Miller was kind of on something illegal, it turned out,
Yeah,
because
true.
how
So
he got his incredible stamina for his, how
mhm.
do you say, physical, his physique, anyway. Yeah.
He's popped multiple times at this point. Yeah, so yeah, it's interesting. So his last couple of fights, or his last maybe few fights, he's been over 300 pounds. So it'll
Wow.
be interesting. Yeah, that's why I said I expect him to come in
He's
heavier
a big
than Ruiz. Uh, and yeah, it's gonna be an interesting fight right here. Interesting to say the least. But yeah, I'm with you there, Bob. Yeah, it's hard to really say. So it depends on how Andrew Ruiz looks as well. So interesting.
He was
Interesting.
actually, in his last fight against Dubois, he weighed in at 333. Wow.
Crazy. Crazy.
Yeah.
He's like a freaking
And also,
lineman in football.
yeah, and also against Lucas Brown before that. So, wow, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rodolfo wonders what's his walk around weight.
It's not like, yeah, it's not like he's 6'7" or something. He's six
Right,
four.
right, right.
Yeah.
Yeah. That kind
Should
of looked like his walk around weight right there, Rodolfo. I believe that is it. That he managed to get with some extra help. He managed to get under 300 there for a little period, but therein lies the issue.
yeah.
So it's craziness right there. But yeah, so we'll see how they look. Then the other heavyweight fight that's on there is Jared Anderson, the
Mm.
expected American heavyweight, to do some things, taking on Martin Bacoli, who's known to
Oh,
be a
yeah.
guy who can upset the apple cart. This is a very interesting
Finally.
one, a hard one to call, realistically.
Yeah.
What do you think of that one?
Oh, that's a really, really exciting, matchup. I mean, Bacoli finally getting his, deserved shot to prove himself really, at the highest level. And yeah, I mean, Jared Anderson, of course, also really being impressive lately. And yeah, I mean, this is going to be pretty hard to predict also,
Yeah,
but I think Bacoli has just shown himself recently to be, even though he hasn't fought all the best guys, but neither has Anderson. So,
he has to step up for for Anderson for sure.
yeah, Bacoli is the bigger guy, bigger, heavier guy, and all that. And but he also really can fight. I mean, he
Yeah,
can box, he can punch, and all that. So Yeah, well, I think he knows probably he will probably have to win by a knockout to get the victory, or score some knockdowns if nothing. So he will go for a knockout, I believe. While Anderson, I don't really. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't want to make any prediction. We'll see. And is the younger, fresher guy, and not so heavy, so that can be a factor
Yeah.
also. And he's got the skills and
He can
the
move
punch.
pretty well.
Yeah, yeah, moves very well, and
And he's not necessarily a small guy because he's 6'4".
yeah,
Uh,
not a small guy either. So that's just right
makes it
size, I would
interesting.
say. Yeah, yeah. So that will be a really good fight. I believe it will be a an action packed fight,
Oh
and
yeah,
who knows? It may end with a knockout, even maybe.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm looking forward to that one. I think that's one of the marquee cards on the or fights on the card there for sure. So yeah, I can understand on the prediction. But I said that I lean a little bit towards Anderson if he's expected to be that guy, but certainly can't say with 100% certainty because McCauley
Yeah,
is going to be a step for him. So but he said he wanted that step up. This is his opportunity right here for sure.
yeah, he can beat Bakowi to the punch and all that. Catch him with the right punches. He can probably get him out of there, and But Bakowi is very good at cutting off the ring and all that. He just goes at his target, and breaks
Yeah,
it. Yeah,
he comes with it for sure. So yeah,
yeah,
interesting one right there, folks. Martin McCauley versus Jared Big Baby Anderson. So we have both of the big babies on this card. In the heavyweight scene right there.
no
So
big daddies.
right.
That's a pity.
Right. Then also on this card there, Boz, we got Isaac Pitbull Cruz making his return against Valenzuela. What's
My
Valenzuela's
favorite.
first name? Jose Valenzuela? I believe it's
Well, one
Jose
of my favorite.
Valenzuela. In what should
Yeah.
be a good contest. This could be the fight of the night there too here, or highlight fight of the card right there. Valenzuela, he knocked out Chris Colbert in
Mm,
I believe his last fight out, had him out cold on the ropes, just laying there. And he's long and he's about 5'10", so he can certainly reach and
wow,
touch
not
Pitbull.
bad.
Pitbull being 5'4", he used to fight in Tyler Fighter, so this is an interesting style clash right here, and this might be a hell of a fight right here for sure.
Oh yeah. Wow, it's gonna be all action also for sure. Yeah, this is, I guess, the first defense of WBA belt for Cruz,
Oh
and
yeah,
yeah,
Pitbull, yeah, from because he beat that's when he beat Rolly, he picked it up right.
yeah, he's just a machine, that I don't
Yeah,
think anybody. Well, I mean, when Gervonta Davis could knock him out, I don't think this guy Valenzuela can. But
yeah,
you never know. But I don't think so. So it will
yeah.
probably be another dominant Cruz performance where he either just batters Venezuela down, or he just wins on points really dominantly. Yeah,
Yeah, Valenzuela's gonna put up some resistance. It should be a good one.
yeah,
I lean
sure.
towards Cruz getting a victory, but yeah,
Mm,
it should be an interesting one for sure. Uh, Looking forward to it. It's a good fight for sure. Having on the card. Shout out to Random
yeah,
Acoustic Thoughts who dropped by. Be sure to check them out, folks.
yeah,
History
what's
Talk.
up?
Gonna try to set up
RAT.
something with Random. Maybe we can do another history discussion here this week. Random, I'll get with you for sure. Love some
You got
history talk. And but yeah, that's a good fight right there, as mentioned on there. And then Boz, yeah, we are talking about on the fight night score stream, but David Morrell versus Kalajic.
Kalajic, yeah, Kalajic.
Yeah. So that should be a good fight right there as well. Morrell moving up to
Yeah,
175 pounds.
wow,
I think he's in with a good opponent who's well
that's
traveled.
gonna be. Yeah, Kalajic will definitely give him a tough test. I think probably Boyle wins this. Yeah, very likely. And
And he's
but
bigger and longer too.
yeah, he's longer and he can punch also. Actually,
Yep.
Karadzic. And everybody that I talked to thought that he should have gotten the victory over Marcus Brown back then.
Oh yeah.
It's now several years ago, of course.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
he even dropped Brown, in that fight. So yeah, but I don't know. Maybe I mean the better be a fight did kind of set him back. Of course, he was stopped.
He's bounced back well in terms of getting to where he's at
Yeah,
now.
he scored a few victories since then. So yeah, this will be interesting.
And he last stopped Sullivan Barrera.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So
People will know
if
Sullivan.
if he should manage to beat Morel, then of course, wow, what a victory! That would propel him back into contention. But that's not going to be easy, of course.
Certainly. No, that's legit right there. Dan says those who forget history will be doomed to relive it. Certainly there, Dan. Great point. Yeah. You can certainly pin that on the wall right there, Dan.
Certainly. I sure don't forget history. History has always been one of my favorite subjects,
Oh, yeah. Yeah, certainly. No, it's a good thing for sure. And then, hey, rounding out that card, you got Andy Cruz, who's a Cuban Olympian, who's going to be taking on Antonio Moran, solid veteran. This is only Cruz's fourth fight, so he's jumping straight up in there with the guy who's been in with some top level names. Moran has been in.
By Haney, yeah.
Devin Haney, yeah. I was at that fight. Yeah, it was beautiful, big time. Haney loaded that thing up.
Yeah.
But no, so this should be a good fight for Andy Cruz. I favor Andy Cruz, but Antonio Moran's going to give him some good work. He's going to certainly have to work for this victory. We'll see where Cruz goes from here, assuming he gets the victory, So that's a good fight. But yeah, top to bottom, heck of a card right there. It's going to be pay-per-view, of course. This is Riyadh season as they made their way here to the United States, going down at BMO Stadium in Los Angeles. Riyadh season USA right here. So with the Saudi backing, the types of fight that they put on to this card, this is probably the most stacked card we've seen in forever, basically.
Yeah, that's the card of the year, maybe.
Yeah. The last several for sure. So that's the one to watch out for this weekend. Then there's a British card, more domestic, that's going to be taking place as well. The highlight fight, Caroline Dubois is going to be fighting on that. Then Shelley and Simpson, there's going to be some British super middleweight titles on the line for that one, so worth mentioning. And also, there's a card here in Washington, D.C. Interestingly enough, their Boz is going to be taking place, so that should be a good one. Jordan Short Dog White against Jason Sanchez going down in D.C. at the Entertainment and Sports Arena, Davis Promotions card. So that one I plan to be at in person, so it'll be going on with this Riyadh card as well, but I definitely want to check out the Riyadh card. So interesting decisions to make there, surely. But that's one I wanted to mention as well there. Rodolfo mentioned Eminem will be performing at the fight too. Oh yeah, okay, got Eminem to come out there. I know he walked out with Bud previously.
Wow, he hasn't been really in the news that much for a while.
Yeah. He kind of stays in the background. I think he just released an album like this past month or this month maybe. I know it's not too long ago. Dion says Greek Glorious card even without Ortiz. Certainly. Lovely. Nice. You get a hold of Sanchez yet? No, he hadn't got back with me there, Skywalker. Maybe you had to give him a nudge or something. So we'll see what's up. But yeah, if I get him, then it'd be good to interview him. I'm gonna see who else is trying to get down to come chat it up and all that good stuff. But yeah, those are the big ticket items that are taking place, the big ticket cards that are taking place here this next weekend. So Saturday, October the 3rd. And then, of course, the weeks to follow, we'll have some good
Always.
boxing that is coming up that we'll surely be talking about as well there.
Mm.
All bods and all. So
Yeah.
we'll see what's up
Can't
for
wait,
sure.
of course. Can't wait. And I'm glad that it is taking place in a country where the time difference is not that big. It's very small actually between me and I think it's only 1 hour actually.
Oh
I
yeah.
didn't know. Yeah, I didn't know it was that little.
Okay, not bad right there. Not bad.
Yeah,
So that's good for you for sure.
of course.
Cool. Cool. Well, folks, hey, I think we've hit that point here for the show. Of course, gotten a good solid hour in. As mentioned, going to try to
Yeah.
do some other stuff, maybe some more interviews coming down, but going to try to link up with Random Acoustic Thoughts. Maybe we can talk a little boxing history, have some history on the mind as well. But as always, we do thank everyone for dropping by, and of course, the Boz for being here, being a part of this. If you on Facebook, go check out Boxing Haven on Facebook. You'll see the group there and join on the discussion. Also, check out his YouTube. Is it Just Buys?
Yeah, just balls. Yeah.
At Just Buys, or look that up. I'm sure you can find it for sure.
Mm.
So yeah, we'll connect there. Skywalker, Rodolfo, appreciate you dropping by. So I'm sure we'll chat. But for everyone, we thank you for sure for dropping by,
Yeah.
spending some time with us, and we'll connect here soon. Have a good one, all.